All right, Ambush, and today we are joined by a alternative pop punk singer-songwriter. You, the audience, may have heard her under a different name on shows like The Launch. She also released a couple of previous singles under a previous name, under a previous style, and today we are here to talk about that shift into this new sound, into this new persona with my guest here today, Victoria Alex. How's it going today, Victoria?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm good to be here.
Hey, I am having a fantastic time. I'm loving the energy already, and I am very excited to dive into this new sound, into this debut track for Victoria Alex. But of course, before I get there, I'd love to also lay a little bit of a foundation for our audience here. So like I mentioned, they may know you under a little bit of a different name, under Victoria Azevedo. Sorry if I mispronounced that one, but either way, they may know you under a different name. So the first thing that I would love to know is, what brought this shift into Victoria Alex?
That's a great question. As you may know, teenagers are very indecisive with their image and how they like to portray themselves. So I had a lot of names that I was really interested in, but something just really resonated with Victoria Alex just because it is my middle name, Alexandra. And even though Victoria Azevedo is my first and last name, I was a little like, as a kid, I've always kind of been a little insecure about my last name just because people don't know how to pronounce it properly, and it's kind of weirdly spelled. So it's easier for people to mispronounce it. So I feel like Victoria Alex is very simple and also very authentic because it is my name. So I feel like it was just the perfect match for like what I look like, what I feel. It kind of really fit me and my persona.
Okay. So maybe it gave a little more comfort.
Exactly. It's very royal too. Victoria Alexandra. It's very posh.
I like it. You can be posh and punk at the exact same time, right?
Right? Why not?
Exactly. So, of course, like we also mentioned, with this shift in name here, also came a little bit of a shift in sound. Anyone who's heard you before has maybe heard a little bit of like some guitar and a little rock and roll to it, but not quite like what we have here with this alternative pop punk sound. So what exactly was it about this sound that you sort of just fell in love with?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely grew up with pop punk a lot when I was younger, and I was obsessed with Avril Lavigne, Blink-182, all that stuff. So a lot of my like passions for music kind of came from that. I never really kind of felt like I had the opportunity to because like um, around when I was pop was so popular, Taylor Swift, Demi Lovato, that stuff, and like that's when I kind of started singing and performing and kind of getting into the music industry. So I really thought that pop was the route to go. But I had so much love for pop punk and rock because I grew up with rock music as well. Me and my dad just love U2. We love Def Leppard. We love Black Sabbath, all that stuff. So we would jam in my dad's car while we were going to like rehearsals and stuff like that, and just like sing a bunch of rock tunes. So it's always kind of been in me. So I feel like this time around, I was like, you know what, screw it. Like, I'm going to do what I love to do. And now that things are kind of a lot easier to kind of mesh different genres with, I felt a lot more confident to be like, you know what, I'm going to do this, but I'm also going to put a little bit of pop and a little bit of punk and a little bit of alternative and a little bit of maybe indie. So I just feel like as I'm getting older, I'm a lot more confident in the way I want to proceed. That's basically it.
Okay, awesome, perfect. I like how you sort of put that, because you want to mix different things, because we as human beings, there's different experiences. And I mean, some of us have one sound that we like to listen to, but a lot of us have different types of music, different moods, right?
Exactly. If you were to look at my Spotify playlist, you'd be like, you are all over the map because I love everything, to country to opera to classical and punk and just all of that stuff I love. And being able to kind of mesh it in together and make it a vibe, that's when it's just like you're taking me to this whole kind of ultra universe thing and I'm loving it. And that's kind of like the vibe I want to come across as. So yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. I love it. And of course, also when you're a young artist, because you are still a young artist, there can be a lot of people who try and put their influence on your sound, or when you're trying to get noticed, maybe maybe a little bit of trend following. So I love how you put that too, whereas like, screw it, I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely the vibe. Even though it's super cool that like I've just been hearing so many artists recently and they've kind of incorporated a lot of punk and pop to other stuff. And like Avril Lavigne is back, which is super freaking cool. So I'm very pumped for that. And it's just a great fun genre to just jump around and scream your chorus and just have a great time. And I feel like everybody just loves to have a great time when they're listening to music. Although there's some times where you kind of want to sit down in your bed and kind of cry and just get all those emotions out. But I think what I love let me kind of take over and just jump around and have a great time. So
Fantastic. And like you mentioned, sometimes you want to jump around, you want to have a great time. Sometimes you want to be screaming your lungs out. So, of course, we want to dive into this brand new single. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. So, I'd love to know exactly how did this song, this new single, Screaming, come to life?
yeah, absolutely. So I actually wrote this song with my music producer slash best bud this summer. We wanted to kind of establish where I wanted to go and how what I wanted to write about, and I feel like it was a kind of like accumulation of just being a teenager, and I've always wanted to write about the kind of hard one because it must be such a hard time to kind of be in that little mid ground of like you're kind of a kid, but you're not a kid because you're kind of an adult and it's just confusing and things are crazy and you're just trying to figure things out. So screaming is really about that, and it's about being young and naive and not knowing what your purpose is, and kind of getting manipulated by guys or whoever you're kind of dating, and going through friends like changing your socks every day because people are just so mean sometimes and they don't understand you and how you feel. And that's kind of a lot how I felt in high school, just kind of feeling I'm in my own head, especially like I was kind of one of the only like people in my school that was really focused on my singing career. And it was kind of hard to relate to other people and people didn't really understand me. So I felt like I wanted to scream and I felt like no one like to out, and I kind of just felt like I was kind of in my own head and I couldn't really communicate how I was feeling. And I feel like it's a very relatable kind of feeling. I feel like everyone throughout their life, even if they weren't, if even if it wasn't when they were young, maybe when they were older, like everyone's always felt like they haven't felt heard and they just kind of want to scream because they don't have that person that understands what their mind is going through. So that was kind of the inspiration of the writing process. It was kind of just basically me and my producer kind of having a conversation. And I was like, this is how I felt. How I kind of write is I kind of go on my notes and just literally write word for word how I feel and then go back to it and kind of make it a little, aesthetically pleasing lyrically. But all the stuff that I was talking about, like I only got two real friends because everyone else is an emotional wreck. I feel like I've always tried to help others, but didn't really people around me were emotional wrecks, and I was too, and I gravitated towards that and didn't help myself. Um, and then like just jealous people just not being there for you, like they're happy when you're sad. Why do I feel bad? Those are some of the lyrics. I might as well be friendless because these days I couldn't care less. So yeah, it's just kind of being young and figuring things out.
Hmm. Just going through that experience, like you say, trying to figure out that balance in between being young and trying to grow old, and suddenly you're supposed to have responsibility and
Exactly.
all of these things, but all of these people are trying to figure them out, and some people maybe don't know exactly who they are, and maybe aren't putting forward that best representation of themselves because they want to be something else. So it can be hard to make true friends, to find those experiences, to find people that you can actually vent to who, just exactly like you said, understand, who actually listen.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's like that was a great description of that.
I may have like a small understanding of like, just what that might feel like, you know? Ah, fantastic. And of course, with this new single also came a music video, an incredible music video.
Thank
Just like
you.
it looks amazing, and I just love the story that it tells. Take us behind what it was like to create the visuals for Screaming here.
For sure, and thank you so much. That means so much to me. The video process was actually so fun. This was my first music video where I had a cast, and it was kind of very intimidating and scary because as people have seen my music video, like the first thing they messaged me after watching it was, "Oh my god, like you fully made out with the lead actor." And I was like, yeah. So that was like very intimidating because I've never really done something like that. And because I'm 19, I'm kind of going into the vibe of like I'm an older lady now. Things are kind of just not going to be exactly kid friendly, like, so it was definitely a huge transition. We had 3-day shoot, and we had a bunch of locations throughout those 3 days, which was so fun because I got to go to different places that I've never been before and met these amazing people that were in the cast. And Cooper is the main actor, and he was so sweet, and like he knew exactly that he knew that I was so kind of so anxious in a way, and I was like, okay, like I guess we're doing this, and like it was awkward at first, but he made it so comfortable, and he was just so funny and easy to be around that it really kind of, you know it was just a lot easier to work with people that, want to make you feel good, hype you up, and just are so easy to be around. So it was so fun to just meet great people, and the chemistry was there, and it was so fun. We Funny thing about this is that I actually met someone who was in the crew that played drums, and we were looking for a drummer, and he ended up showing up out of nowhere. And we were like, okay, well, I guess you're our drummer now. So I've created so many like people that are now going to be in my future things, which is so exciting. And it was just my first kind of legit music video, so it felt so good to kind of, be able to see the final product because I was also in the editing process as well. And it takes a lot of time. And I didn't notice how much time it takes to kind of look through each take. There's so many funny bloopers that I wish were in there, but I kind of want to make a video of a bunch of bloopers because it was so funny. But it was just so much fun to kind of do all that and meet so many people and just create a great visual.
Fantastic. And as you said, a great visual. And you cannot tell that you were nervous at all throughout that music video. Like, even just like the power moment where like you throw him on the bed and it was like, damn, she's taking control. Incredible music video, incredible song. So one thing that I would love to know
Yeah.
is, like we mentioned, is you've been releasing music for a while. Maybe some of your audience has been with you for some time, maybe grown up with you. So what was the reception like to this new sound and this new style?
That is an amazing question because I was so shook and scared because basically my fans have kind of seen me in a very different way, and kind of I first coming with my first song that is like pop alternative punk, and I'm talking about screaming, and I have a music video where I'm making out the dude. Everyone was like, okay, this is pretty different. So I was scared in a way to introduce that, but I was also so excited because I feel like my fans are about to see a different side of me. And it's just really exciting. And the response that I've been getting is super great. People want more music, people want more, music videos, and they want to see me perform, which is so great. And I was honestly very moved by the messages that I got. And I'm just a lot more motivated to keep rocking, like show them what I've been working on.
Awesome. I love to hear it. And of course, you mentioned you have been working on other things. And from what I have been able to read, there is an upcoming EP coming our way. So without giving away too much of the magic, what can you tell us about this upcoming project?
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the process of obviously recording an EP, which is super exciting. And the stuff that I'm really excited to kind of see what people think is definitely the vintage inspiration of musicians that I've, you know, love and am so inspired by. So a lot of the inspiration is just stuff that I love, and a lot of, like we were talking about, a lot of genres that are put into one. A lot of music, a lot of things that I kind of like experimented that I was like, wow, I never knew I could do this, and I love this. And I'm just really really excited because this is like completely different than what I was a few months ago. So I'm just like so excited for everyone to kind of see this new Victoria Alex. So yeah.
Okay, so the future holds some new music and quite a few other wonderful things then.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay. So for those who want to stay up to date, the best way is probably to go ahead and follow you on social media. So where can they go ahead and do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on my Instagram. It's Victoria Azevedo. And my YouTube channel for a bunch of new music that's coming and new music videos.
Awesome. And I will put links to both of these and a little bit more in the description to the show below to make things easier for the audience as well. Victoria, I have had a blast chatting so far. I have one last question. Are you ready for it?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Perfect. All right. So, of course, we have talked about this shift in persona, this shift in sound, this new song, all of these exciting things. But what I would love to know now is through this time, through this process, how has it helped you grow as a person? Or what has it taught you about yourself?
Hmm. It has definitely taught me to be more of a confident artist and not be afraid to show this new side of me. And a lot of the songs that I've been working on, the they're all common in a way where I kind of really brutally honest talk. Like, I'm very transparent, and it's kind of scary to be honest in a way because it's very vulnerable and people kind of know what you're all about. So I really was very kind of off the fence of like doing that, but I at the same time like I my ultimate goal is to be as authentic, and I want my fans to know what I'm going through just as much as like their interpretation of what the song means to them. So just having that kind of family oriented space where I could say I've struggled with this, I feel this, and a person can be like, oh my god, I feel the same way, that's crazy, like now I don't feel alone. So a lot of my songs focus on that, and it's just taught me more with how to cope with me mentally. Because I do struggle with a lot of things. Like I have a lot of anxiety. I suffer from depression. So a lot of that really helps with me and my, kind of getting my feelings out and hopefully helping other people who feel the same way.
Perfect. Well, I love that. That's a very powerful message. And I love how you include that in there, where, of course, there's going to be this is you using music sort of as therapy, but there's going to be things that other people get from these songs as well. And maybe they have their own healing that grows out of this. And that's part of the beauty of music.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this lesson as well as the story of this new single, Screaming, here with us today on the DTP, Victoria.
Thank you so much for having me.